Welcome to session 5. We were discussing with the fourth module called digital voltmeters. In the previous sessions, we were discussing about the different techniques in a digital voltmeter and we discussed about a digital multimeter. And in today's session, we will discuss about the digital measurement of time and the one more important block or a topic called a function generator. And this is the block diagram of a time measurement, or it is also referred as a time interval measurement. This slide gives about the block diagram. In this block diagram, we are using two inputs, input 1 and input 2. Both the inputs are attenuated and amplified. We are operating within the range by attenuating the signal, and in order to strengthen the signal, we are amplifying both the input signals, input 1 and input 2. And then both the signals are loading onto the schematic trigger circuit. Schematic trigger circuit is a circuit which converts any type of waveform into a square or a pulses kind of waveform. Initially, we are loading the input 1 at the starting. At the first interval, we are passing input 1. This is passing through the ranging and attenuator circuit. Then we are amplifying the signal. Then we are loading onto the schematic trigger circuit. Then it acts as a start pulse in order to enable the AND gate. Here once again we are using the gate concept, and during the interval of gate open and close we are passing the number of pulses, and this pulses during that interval will be loaded on to the counter, and counter will going to display the number of pulses which are travelled in that gate open interval. And finally this number of pulses which are proportional to the measurement of time. So we are measuring the time in terms of the number of pulses in that particular time interval. That's why here we are using two inputs. The input 1 will going to indicate the start of that interval, and input 2 will going to indicate the stop of that interval. And in the input 1 help us to enable the AND gate to start the operation, and input 2 will help us to disable the AND gate, and after disabling it will help us to stop the operation. And in between the AND gate and the schematic trigger, once again here we are using a gate control flip-flop, the same topic what we were discussing in the previous session while explaining the frequency measurement of digital measurement of a frequency, that is while discussing with a digital frequency meter. So the same gate control flip-flop, by enabling the flip-flop and by operating between the logic level 0 and logic level 1, with these two outputs either we can set or reset the AND gate. In order to start the operation we need to set the gate, that is the output from the gate control flip-flop. In order to stop the operation, in order to disable the AND gate, we need to reset. This is the output from the two outputs from the gate control flip-flop. Initially we are loading the input 1 through the attenuator, then amplifier, then we are passing through the schematic trigger circuit. It acts as a start pulse through this gate control flip-flop. It will going to set or it will going to enable the AND gate. And once the gate is under open condition, the same concept we are using is to pass the number of pulses. Here we are using a internal time-based crystal oscillator. It's a kind of oscillator which is operating at 1 megahertz of frequency. It's a crystal oscillator, and particularly it will be having an internal time-based crystal. So this will going to help us to produce the oscillations at a frequency of 1 megahertz, and the same frequency will be loaded onto the next stage called a schematic trigger circuit. And we heard that schematic trigger circuit is a circuit which converts a type of waveform, any type of waveform, into a train of pulses, means can be converted into a pulses. So this pulses we are passing through this divide by 10 frequency dividers. These are all the frequency dividers. In order to slow down the speed, in order to slow down the speed of the train of pulses, we are dividing, we have implemented a divided frequency dividers by using a dividing by 10 concept. So here we are implemented 3 decade, frequency dividers, these are optional. As per the demands, we can use this frequency dividers. So initially we are producing the oscillations with the help of a oscillator, then we are loading onto the schematic trigger circuit. Now the train of pulses are ready by passing through this frequency dividers, and once the gate is under open condition, we are passing the number of pulses. These pulses are passing through the AND gate, and the same will be counted by the counter, and parallelly after certain interval of time we will going to provide the input to, once again it is through an attenuator, ranging and amplifying blocks. Once again the schematic trigger, here the pulse is ready, and this input 2 pulse will act as a stop pulse to stop the operation. It will going to reset the flip-flop. The reset bit of this flip-flop means the output of this gate control flip-flop will going to disable the gate, then it will going to stop passing the number of pulses by the other input. Now finally the decimal counter will going to count, and it will going to display with the help of a display unit. In this method, in this way we are measuring the time interval. So it is also referred as a digital measurement of time by using a digital blocks, and finally the output of this time measurement will be in terms of a digital. And the continuation of this digital measurement of time, we can measure particularly the period. The time interval means average measurement of both either the single or the multiple period. Both can be measured by using the same concept. Here we are loading once again the input, amplified input towards this period trigger. This period trigger will going to enable the gate control flip-flop, and here we can decide whether it is a multiple period trigger or a single period or a multiple period. That can be decided by this, and this will going to enable the gate control flip-flop. And here using this, once again by using an oscillator which is operating under 1 megahertz, we are producing the oscillations, then converted into the train of pulses with the help of a schematic trigger circuit. Once again by using a divide by 10 frequency divider, we are passing that signal to the frequency trigger circuit. This will going to enable or disable the main gate. And the second input to this main gate is a gate control flip-flop. Once again this is to on or off. This will be provided by the multiple triggering period. Once again here we are using the same, which is in optionals, this divide by 10 frequency dividers which are in option, and this is a combination of many, that's what is referred as a decade divider assemblies. Then we are passing this information. As usual, the main gate will going to open and close up to some duration. It will be controlled by either we are performing the single or a multiple period of measurement. And once this gate is under enabled, we are going to pass this number of pulses. The same pulses will be counted and displayed by the separate display unit. This is about the digital measurement of time, and the next line gives the information about the same explanation, that is the working principle of a digital measurement of time. So in this digital measurement of time, there is one major drawback or the disadvantage called we can measure only the low frequency range. We can measure only the low frequency range. So the operator has to calculate the frequency from the time by using this equation called f is equal to 1 by t. If you know the frequency, we can measure by calculating in terms of t. Here we know the time interval, then frequency can be calculated, that is f is equal to 1 by t. So the major drawback is only the low frequency range can be measured. For example, if you move beyond that value, if we think about a high frequency range, it's not possible. And while measuring this period of for example, here we have considered a 60 Hertz of frequency. The electronic counter might display 16.6673 milliseconds. This is not the most efficient method. That's why it is limited to only low frequency range. This is something information about a digital measurement of time. And coming to the next important topic called a function generator. Name itself specify it's a generator. It will going to generate multiple signals, many signals Many types of waveforms can be generated by using a function generator. It's an instrument which is capable of generating signals or some kind of waveforms can be generated like sine wave, square wave, triangular, up sawtooth, down sawtooth, a kind of sawtooth. So these kinds of waveforms can be generated by using a function generator. And in this slide, we are observing the block diagram of a function generator. In this function generator, the main blocks are, we are having a frequency control network. Here we are using a frequency controlled voltage in order to operate the two more important blocks called upper constant current source and lower constant current source. So this upper constant current source and lower constant current source will be helpful to operate with the integrator. The next stage is after the first stage, that is frequency control network. In order to operate the frequency controlled voltage, the same voltage will be passing through this upper constant and lower constant current source. These two sources will help us to operate this integrator in order to charge this capacitor with a charging value of plus I, and with a discharging, this lower constant current source help us to discharge this value. So as a combination of charging and discharging, we are getting both the positive slope and the negative slope. Indirectly we are producing a triangular kind of waveform. And furthermore important blocks are voltage comparator multivibrator. So this will be helpful to change the operation of either the upper constant current source or the lower constant current source, or vice versa. If we are dealing with the upper constant current source, this will be under disabled condition. If we are dealing with the lower constant current source, the upper constant current source will be under disabled condition. So this voltage comparator multivibrator will help us to change the direction of this positive slope and the negative, means the helpful of charging and discharging. And finally, if we consider the direct output, it is capable of providing a triangular waveform, and if not, you can convert that into internally it will going to convert that into a pulse waveform. And once again, by using a resistance diode shaping circuit, by applying this charging and discharging towards this resistance diode shaping circuit, it will going to convert that triangular waveform into a sine wave. So then at the output stage, both the outputs can be amplified. Means the first one, output amplifier 1, this is to amplify the pulses or the square wave, and the second one, output amplifier 2, is to amplify the sine wave. So we are observing the block diagram which is responsible to produce different types of waveforms. Now let us come into the working principle of this function generator. As we were discussing, this function generator is an instrument which generates different types of waveforms. This waveforms, the frequency of these waveforms can be vary over a wide range, and the most common waveforms are sine wave, sawtooth, triangular and the square wave. This is what we were discussing while explaining the block diagram. And coming to the operation, here we are using a frequency controlled voltage. This is to regulate the two constant current source, that is between the upper constant current source and the lower constant current source. Initially, the upper constant current source will going to supply the current to the integrator, and the output voltage of the integrator will going to increase linearly with respect to time. In this, if the current charging the capacitor either increases or decreases, the slope of the output voltage increases and decreases respectively. So here, hence it will going to control the frequency, and here the voltage comparator multivibrator circuit changes the states of the network when the output voltage of integrator equals the maximum predetermined upper level. Once this reaches the predetermined upper level, then automatically the voltage multivibrator comparator will help us to change the state of the network from a positive current source to lower current source. Due to this change in state, the upper constant current source is removed and it will lock on to the lower constant current source. It will connect it, or it will switch on to the lower constant current source. So if we connect the lower constant current source, then the opposite current to the integrator circuit. So this output of the integrator decreases linearly with respect to time. By applying a upper constant current source, it will going to increase the output of the integrator will increases linearly with respect to time. If we connect the lower constant current source, the output of the integrator decreases linearly with respect to the time. Once this output voltage equals the maximum predefined upper level, on the negative side, the voltage comparator multivibrator again switches to the condition by the network by switching off the lower one and switch on the upper constant current source. Here the output voltage of the integrator has triangular waveform. As we were discussing, it's a charging and discharging waveform. Then it will going to form a triangular waveform, and the frequency of this triangular waveform is determined by the magnitudes of the current supplied by upper constant current source and the lower constant current source. And in order to get a square wave, the output of the integrator is passed through a comparator. So as a result of this, we will obtain the square, triangular as well as the sine. So we'll be having and not only this frequency control network internal, we are having an option of external frequency control. This frequency control will be help us to provide a frequency controlled voltage and then two constant current sources, then the integrator, and this output will be converted into the different expected or whatever we want. That kind of waveforms can be generated by using this function generator. These two slides gives the information theory about this function generator. We're going to wind up this session and we will meet at the next session, that is 6th session. Thank you.